to fight to be present, especially when life, when you leave a certain place, real life, and you. That's why I'm like, people need to be okay with being by themselves, because real life is you, and managing
When you
yourself
value
and managing
yourself,
your everyday.
when you value yourself, you'll find that you find yourself a lot, because when you value yourself, then you're only going to value somebody that values you. You're only going to
Yes.
put the time and energy into somebody that values you. So you have to be comfortable, because if you're not comfortable being alone, then you'll be comfortable with anybody that's willing to occupy that time, regardless of what you have to deal with.
Yeah.
To have somebody occupy that time. The first thing most people need to do, learn how to do, is to be still. Be still with
Yeah.
yourself and accept where you are.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If I'm equated, because we're not tangent, we can
We
switch
keep.
this whole thing up. But
I
if
know.
I'm
I'm
gonna bring
sorry.
it back to Monique, that's the thing, though. It's like she's not able. She wasn't able. That's why I brought up the thing about when I came. It's what she said. When I came to
Yeah.
LA, I wanted a talk show. I didn't. I wasn't thinking about being a comedian. I didn't want to be on television. I wanted a talk show. So now you're going through all these things and doing all these things, and we all loving on Monique. Oh, the Parker, she cold as hell. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the comedy show, she funny as hell.
Right.
You know that she pissed.
Hmm.
She's not doing the things
Yeah.
that she's doing, and she's not at peace. She's not at. First of all, she's not at peace because you in the industry. Ain't nobody in the industry at peace. Okay, I just don't
No,
think
they not.
you just
And
can't
that's why
be.
I'm just like, I ain't trying to fight. I ain't trying. I mean, my piece is so important. Ain't no way. I thought about that. I'm like, I would love to do this and this. And I'm thinking, ooh, but peace though. I can't jeopardize that. So I mean, but okay, I want to say this point to back to Monique.
Hmm.
This, and I just realized another reason why I didn't like this. The reason why I love her so much is part of the reason why I didn't like this. She puts
Hmm.
on the exterior. She puts on this, even in the way she walks. I love the way she, like, it doesn't matter what she's wearing. I love the way she carries herself, as far as her presence and her walking and how she does things. The way
Right,
she delivers. That
right,
has always, she is always in some way, shape, from her fashion, in whatever role she has delivered some parts that I feel like are Monique. You know what I mean? So that's why I loved her in literally everything that she does. But then I'm thinking, like, this didn't give me enough substance. I know how she appears, but is this real? Like,
right.
that's why I'm like, I don't.
Because
It
my thought
seems like it's an
when I
act.
see the picture with the rollers and set and the dress, I'm just like, well, this ain't how she been looking. She got braid back and a bun or something like that. And maybe that
She
might
had
be
to
a
put
little crazy,
on.
but there might have been a way to glam that up. If she'd have got on that thing with braids and told that story, I might be more inclined to accept the way that she presented the stories. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. But you didn't glam this thing up for us to be up in this space of like, oh,
Right.
let me get excited for this. But you didn't you let me down. Thank God
That's
you like
right. That's what I'm saying. But even in, I'm like, it's not even. It's not with me. It's like nothing even about. It's just the way she carries herself. She can be wearing braids down, no makeup.
right,
It's always been a certain way in her roles and how it's been Monique. So I'm
right.
expecting for this to be Monique, and she's giving the funny. That's why I'm like, something's missing here, and that's why I feel like she didn't give it the way I would have wanted her to give it, but it looked nice. And that's what I'm saying. Is so many things that's like, it looked nice.
Right.
It seems okay. But this isn't your best. You could have gave a little bit more. And but on the flip side, I do feel like I'm judging her though. But
Wait,
I
what?
am. I feel like I'm judging her, but since it's just like, it's just my opinion, because I feel
They
like
gonna judge. People gonna judge.
I know.
Somebody, I had my hair done yesterday. Everybody, some people telling me how nice it looks. A guy on here told me I look like Geraldine or some shit. I don't know. People gonna get on and judge and say what they want to say.
And say whatever, and
Opinion,
say whatever. But it's, I mean, but it is my opinion, because of the fact that I feel like I love Monique for her aesthetic, and when I wanted something deeper, she kind of let me down. And
sure,
it's like,
and
yeah,
that's
this is
valid.
Monique, and it's like, okay, so Monique is special ed. She got a daddy. That's
Hmm.
her daddy, her husband. And so it's like, okay, well, cool. Part of this I already knew. I didn't need to know the rest of it. But
Uh huh.
it's like when you go to a restaurant, you're like, oh my God, like, yes, you getting about the best thing on the menu, and then you like, eh. It wasn't even,
Or even
this how
going
the
to looking at the restaurant and you say, "Oh, this is a beautiful place. I know I'm gonna eat good here." Drinks is watered down and the food ain't seasoned.
period. No. And then you just like I definitely could have went home and made better drinks. I could shoot. Put a
I
mic in
couldn't do
front
it
of me.
without.
I mean shit. If it's too many people who getting this shit too easy, I'm gonna see what's to it in a minute.
No, seriously.
Shoot. The fuck? Like this is I mean, and it's a craft and it's a art. I understand. And a lot of things are a craft and an art. Songwriting is a craft and an art. Singing,
Everything
it's a
you see
craft
on
and an
television
art
is
shit.
art
But when you
because you
see
have
so
to be in
many
the group.
people giving lackluster, you like, all right, well, shit, I might go ahead and try to see what's to it. Put my little baby toe in. Like, let me see what's to this, because it's like
Not you don't
everybody
even have
else.
to. You can go do your baby talk. You said we just watched the Monique thing. All she did, she literally told stories. No, we didn't need knock knock who's there or your mama so this. But it's a different way that you tell a story. You as a comedian, it's your ability to turn the
Yeah.
story into comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
From every little, and then he or after that, or even when Kevin Hart did the whole, this is what he did before he got in the car, jingle the keys, hit the side. You know what I'm saying? That whole thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Kevin Hart ain't funny all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be cackling. Okay, so that you see the comedy through the whole story, and why I stopped it and I said now we're getting to a point in comedy, period, or
Yeah.
in television, in media, period, that it has to be so society struggle based. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Racism, LGBTQ,
Hmm.
oh your parents, and it's
But
more
those
like
are things that pull people. So you want to
and not
grab people at a certain thing.
wait,
That's
say
the
what
thing.
again?
It's like it's a recipe to it,
No,
but yet when you got the recipe, you don't make it the same way. Like it's just always it works for some and it don't work for others. That's what I'm noticing. You know what I'm
but the
saying? Because
recipe, the standard recipe right now is the same for everybody. Because even Cat Williams, he gets to getting all, but Cat Williams throw them punchlines in there and they beat the punching. You know what I'm saying? But the bulk
yeah.
of his stuff is very um political,
But did you
essentially.
see his? But did you see his last special?
I didn't watch it all the way through because I couldn't get over the outfit and his cussing and the fact that it was it wasn't Cat Williams velvet blazer hair flipped. It wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's been. Even Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle has a very unique talent, and he is a unique talent, and that he himself is
Hmm.
simply funny, and the way that
Yeah.
he um um, talks about the situation, and he does try to,
Yeah.
educate the people. It is kind of TED Talk ish, but it is it's the way that he does it that still
It's
kind
his
of adds an
it's
element
his
to it. It
delivery.
showcases the talent that he is. But and that's the thing about
Hmm.
Monique with the cussing. That cussing is overshadowed.
Yeah.
The cussing overshadows the quality, or even what I'm saying, what the story is, because it's like, oh, the cuss word there, oh, the cuss word there. You know what I'm saying? Especially when the cuss word is not followed by any punchline, because now
Yeah.
all you do is cuss me out, and now I feel
Right.
attacked. Now I feel
Yeah, and
attacked,
I mean,
and simply that's
people.
it. Now, if we're gonna go back to Sydney's ass, and now Sydney's sitting there talking about,
Mhm.
yeah, you ain't gonna change no cussing because you've been cussing 45 years. No, they're not the right man, bro.
No.
That's the right man. He ain't
And that's
advised.
what I'm
He's not
saying. Why is
advising the
he writing your
public.
shit? Like don't let him write your you are the comedian. He has not been in the spaces
I
you
was about to
in.
say, Sydney
And the
probably
whole
wrote the
thing of
first grade.
man, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you as a grown woman, you can raise yourself at this point. Like don't you know enough and know enough about the game that you've been there before you were with him. You know enough of the game to be able to do like you've been selling out shows long before he was writing your shit. Like what? I don't understand
Let me say this.
it.
What I don't want to do is use this comment, but this was exactly what it did. And I said it in a roundabout way, and now I'm going to say it real direct. What I don't want to do is use this comedy special, which I've done this whole time, is use this comedy special as ammunition to use against Monique. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, that's why. Well, that's why. Well, that explains, like I did. Because then, I don't know if she comes out. Like I said, something has to follow up. But leading into with what's that movie called? Not Ma, that's Octavia Spencer. what's it called?
Mm-mm.
The book,
The read,
the reading.
the reading, yeah.
Um, you start with that, and you some crazy ass woman that just want to kill kids, and you done killed your man, and now you drop this comedy special where you crazy and you fighting with the people, and you think you know what I'm saying? Bit the band's dick. Like
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
like this
Like if
level
somebody,
of I don't like this level of
I saw, I,
rebranding.
I saw the reading and I didn't like that either. So now I'm kind of, I don't know. Like it's not
No,
like I'm still gonna rock with her. I just like I need more. I'm just that's
the
all.
reading wasn't terrible. The worst thing about the reading was that it was Monique, and you ain't been in the movie. You ain't been in no movies, and now you come out. Well, I won't say that Christmas movie, but that was years ago. Maybe she did something else. I don't know. But then you do this reading movie, and you
Shows.
are this. You play this character that
Yeah.
everybody wanted to blacklist. You know what I'm saying, and things like that. Now, I like how you say you like Monique, and you like the way that she carries herself because that's the thing, and that's what you get. She has a built-in fan base. But when you
Right.
look at something like Precious, and you want to give somebody like Monique an accolade, like an Oscar for Precious, when she simply showed up and didn't wear makeup and read her lines, that's simply all she did. She was herself. There was no out of body experience. If you was gonna get somebody for doing simply something, it should have been Mariah Carey. Because Mariah Carey showed up, shot on the wrong angles, and didn't have no makeup on, and still was believable in her scene. Okay, that's what's important. That's what should have been acknowledged. Not Monique just showing up to this thing and just doing her things. But that goes back into how she carries herself. And that is one of the big things that people like about her. Her being a big black woman and her being a big black confident woman and her being big black confident woman that always is on her shit. That's great. But when you playing these characters that do not show black people in good light, what does
Mm.
that even do? What does how you
And then you
carry yourself
bringing up
even do?
and Fannie Lou Hamer and Arthur Kidd, I mean Eartha Kitt and all these other people in his interviews.
No, yeah, totally.
I don't know.
But Monique ain't the only one. I mean, everybody goes through what they go through, like we said, like I said about the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Chloe go through this, and
Yeah.
Courtney go through this, and Kim and Kylie and whatever. And even Caitlyn go through the shit that she go through, whatever. And that's all specific to the person and what their intentions or what their purpose is in the game of affecting the media and the masses and things like that. There's no, and it's like to bow out. They had to maneuver and find a red eye in 3 states over to get the fuck to Africa to get away from the people that weren't conducting himself, that weren't handling him properly. He wasn't comfortable with the way they were handling him. The fact of the matter is that Dave still came back to the shit. That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. You didn't come out of this and switch anything else. You came out. You went through the whole thing, came back as a different person, and then you came back and you did the same. You're doing the same thing, and then you kind of doing it with a little chip on your shoulder. You got the great delivery, and now you've been ingratiated back into the system, but you have a bit of a chip on your shoulders that you smoking on the damn things. Like I said, the delivery is great, and that's the talent of
Hmm.
Dave. Right, Dave.
Yeah.
What's his
Dave
name?
Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Chappelle.
That's the talent that he is. But what did you do
Yeah.
after? You know what I'm saying? Your great escape. What was the reason? Like, what was the purpose? What were we supposed to take from that? Because what you take from that is that Stockholm syndrome to run away from something that is so bad, but you come back to it because that's all you know, or something like that. You know that sort of thing. And it's just like,
Mhm.
well,
I mean, but he has a talent though. That's why I'm just like, you ain't running back to it for no reason. That's why I'm just like, dude, like you gotta say better shit. It
now
don't make
we talk
sense.
about sex. Well, my thing now that Dave the saying and the things, and it's like, well, this is what we need you to say because that goes back into what we're saying about now where everybody's dropping information from Jaguar Wright to Orlando Brown to Dave. I want to what the fuck I want to
Yeah.
call Dave Chappelle. Everybody,
Yeah.
even when you're listening to music and things like that, which is it's just I mean, music has always been a place, a bit of a diary for the people, but it's just more information based. The T is in front of our face and things like that. And that's so to bring Dave back, not to be like, okay, Dave, you're gonna play, you're gonna pick up where you left off. We got this show ready for you. Are we ready for any type of show that you have going? And let's have you bring on a couple DC young flies. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Put some other people on
Right.
and do the things that Nick Cannon fucking did and things like that. But that's
Yeah.
not what happened. He's sitting there, he be sitting out in the back of the fucking park bench with the fucking people in the pack of Newports. And if that's his judge, that's his judge. But that's not after I'd made this great escape because people were not handling. I was in a toxic situation and people had nefarious behavior around me and wanted me to do things that I agree with. And I had to leave. I secretly left the country to get away from these people that were not handling me properly. And then I came back to the
And then I
same
came back.
people.
They paid me 3 times as much as I would give any other comedian for a Netflix special that just turned tables for no reason.
And I'm gonna tell
They
you
could do
something.
it.
Dave's ain't much funnier than what Monique's was. But because of the chip and
His
he got the
delivery, yeah.
about things. It's just like okay, I'm just I'm getting I'm not getting it's Rick James, bitch. I'm getting what he's given. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
kind of the difference. There was no, I don't have an expectation watching the Dave Chappelle thing because I kind of peep what Dave is on. You know what I mean? But Monique, same thing. Went through this whole thing and the whole thing. Everybody blacklisted me, and I'm talking about this and Oprah fuck you and
Yeah.
Tyler fuck you and now and Netflix fuck you. But thank you so much, Netflix. I really hope you put my special up. No, because you should have called
Yeah.
Kiki Palmer. She got the network coming. You should have called Diddy. You should have called somebody else.
You right. You can't be standing and all this stuff and standing and all of this and then now all of a sudden it's oh well thank you like they were like nah they basically showed they ass to you for a whole decade and a half.
Mm. No, seriously,
Like you
seriously.
like you needed to have like no. The thing about it is that but maybe that's the situation. And if she was really about it and had all this stuff and even to the point where she wanted us to boycott, she should have. That's why that's another reason. All the more reason for us to feel a type of way because with all of that rah rah, you should have said something. Like it's this wasn't it. Like this wasn't it.
And that's how you know it's not about. Oh, this is a deeper thing, and this is a lot deeper thing, and I could carry on about. I'm sure we could carry on about it. But
Right? We
that's how
sure
you know
can.
that we're not functioning in the practical. We're not functioning in the realistic. Because that is
Hmm.
the that is the very fucking thing. First of all, you've witnessed the wrongdoing. The wrongdoing has been done to you, and nobody
Hmm.
sees your side. And then you be the victim of it, and you do all this speaking out against it. And the very second that they kind of welcome you back into it, you're like, oh okay, oh yeah, everything's fine now. And it's like, okay, I get the checks. But I say the same thing about when it comes to the checks. Hey, hips, Don, teal, waist, bees when it comes to like housewives and things like that. They're gonna be with bitches that they
Yeah.
can't stand, things like Love and Hip Hop, all these reality shows, basketball wives, to be with bitches they can't stand because they need to check because they're gonna Candy gonna put it towards a restaurant and Evelyn gonna put it towards a restaurant or to a shoe store. You know what I'm saying? They put the money
Right.
towards the thing. So they find themselves dealing with these things just for the sake of a check. And that's when they say money is the root of all evil. That's one of the
Hmm.
first, probably the first cliche that come out, but it's one of the most long-standing. It's one of the most impactful and widely understood because people find themselves doing things that completely contradict their morals and their principles because they want the check.
Right. Because they want
That's
the check. Yeah. The
it's
check
very
was the whole thing anyway, but that's why and I think maybe the check was the reason why it was a problem. But at the same time, it's like okay, but you could have took said checks and definitely, you know what I'm saying, 4 times over, made millions,
let me tell
residuals on top of them bitches. Like you didn't have to,
you
no.
there's many very many instances where money is not even discussed. Sometimes if you watch a TV show and they be like, well, how much you get? And they write it down on a piece of paper and they slide it over. You don't even see it. People do deals, people on YouTube doing these deals, and they don't talk about it. Why are we talking about Monique and millions of dollars in Netflix? You know what I'm saying? So that's a red flag to me.
Right. Right. Because we
That's a
wouldn't even know. Well, what we do with a whole million trillion dang on dollars. You see what I'm saying? And then it's
and
just
now,
like,
how are we supposed
okay,
to get upset and
before this
boycott
whole
our Sunday
situation.
and Saturday afternoon activities to fight for you, and you gonna give us a
Hmm.
bullshit Netflix thing like that?
Yeah. But see, but let's keep it a buck though. And this is why I just realized this shit myself. Before we even found out that she was supposed to be for a Netflix special, did we what were we peeping anything Monique was doing? Before we, okay, because
Ain't
I
nobody even
remember she
dropped the
was,
subscription like they thought they would when Netflix went up to 26.79. So you know what I'm saying? People down with the things, and that's probably what Netflix is like too. Is like, oh, we'll put her on here, and because nobody's gone anyway, and so we'll just do the things. I highly doubt she got the money that she talked about she didn't get the first time.
yeah,
They didn't put out no double-digit millions for Monique to sit up and give us an hour and 45 minutes. It wasn't even an hour and 45 minutes.
because the business is they want to see if people are going to care anyway. And their audience, because it's Netflix, reach all types of demographics. So to your point, the cussing was probably a bad deal because is any has any people of the Caucasus persuasion when it said, "Hey, I want to see a Monique special."
Right.
If that ain't
And
happening, they
I
don't
didn't see
care
any
anyway.
Caucasians in that stand. And you usually do. Not many Caucasians. And so we want you to appeal to the black people. And now I'm gonna bring this back. I always
And
say too,
here it
lots of
is.
people bring it back. But that then goes back into the things that she talked about in that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She has now she's not eviscerated, but
Mm-hmm.
she has regurgitated. She has opened herself up. She has revealed things that she normally wouldn't reveal because that is probably where she found her power to get through the things that she went through. It's like, okay, I'm going to suppress
Mm-hmm.
this and I'm going to
Right.
push towards the mark here. And probably there were some
Yeah.
genuine moments where like, I can't talk to my first of all, I don't know why you would want to talk to your grandmother about your fantasies or anything like that. Or
Mm-mm.
even the weight of her not being able to tell her that she might like girls sometimes, like she said,
Right.
to even and say that to her grandmother to affect the relationship. Like that seemed a little extra to like prove a point. But
Right.
essentially, everything that she talked about, issues, yes, we go through them, yes, but it was like I'm pulling back the veil. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
am. What's the word, y'all? I'm doing these things. Not so much an embarrassment.
Unveiling. Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
unveiling. Not even dropping the guard because it's not something that she wants to do. It's
Right.
not something that
She
she
gave
wants
us what
to
she
do.
wanted us to get, what she wanted us to have, and
Well, no, she
sabotage.
had been giving us what she wanted us to have. And then somebody said, "Now you're not following the rules." Because this is how, in my mind, this is what it is. She, you have been given what you wanted to give and did what you wanted to do, and we gave you the things. We have placed you in positions for you to be gracious to us, so that, like they say in John Wick, I have served, I will be of service. But that's not what Monique did. This is the story.
Right.
So that's not what Monique did. So when it came for Tyler Perry, who went from sleeping in his cars, he's sleeping in his 16 million room mansions, that sort of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
you can imagine the type of dealings that he did to even be the second hand of somebody like Oprah and even be in
Yeah.
conversations with somebody like Spike Lee. You can think of the
Yeah.
thing. Maybe you can't even think of the things that he had to do. Medea ain't that great to put him in that
Yeah.
thing.
There is a
But the
demographic,
thing
but he
is,
don't have to do nothing else. He got his own station, so now he's just doing his own shit.
well, that's the thing. Tyler's doing all these things, but that's the thing. That's the thing about the game or the pocket that we might find Tyler Perry in eventually one day. See, I haven't turned my camera on. I keep getting off camera. But they found that Medea was a big hit. Medea was making this money, and somebody brought Tyler Perry an offer, and he sucked the fuck out that fucking offer. And now Tyler Perry is where the fuck he is to sit and
Mm-hmm.
and juggle the career of somebody like Monique. We knew Monique before we knew a Tyler Perry. So where the fuck
Yeah.
do you even get off? So if Monique says no, I'm not working for free for you, and then he says, oh, you're not going to work for free for me, and for him to even have that power to do that, that is where we
Right.
recognize the shift. And even when Monique went on The View and said to Whoopi Goldberg, I'm sorry, sister, I'm not doing things the way you did them. You did it the
Yeah.
way you wanted to do it, and I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it, but I'm not working for free.
Yeah.
If she said that to
And
Whoopi
that should have been
Goldberg, that
enough.
lets you know that's what Whoopi Goldberg
That should
is
have
sitting.
been.
Whoopi Goldberg don't do
Yeah.
shit but sit there and smoke her weed. But Whoopi Goldberg ain't some record. She got an Oscar, she got the EGOTs and things like. I'm not gonna say now. That's the thing. I can't say that she's not decorated, so it gives her some
She
validity in the
did.
situation. But Whoopi Goldberg don't have. She ain't.
She's rubbed.
She ain't
But
no
they
ass.
all have. But
She didn't
she's
even know
rubbed
how to
elbows
dance.
and did what she needed to do. Yeah, she
But
did.
But the thing is, when Monique said that to her, she was referencing The Color Purple and how they only paid her one time. And Color Purple is one of Steven Spielberg's biggest movies, maybe it was like right behind E.T., I think maybe. So that sort of thing. And it's like I can't have this conversation with you because they did this to you and you allowed it. So
Yeah.
all you're going to try to talk to me about, but that's the thing, because now we got Whoopi Goldberg, who is trying her damnedest to get the fuck off the show, but they keep puppeteering her and putting her in these situations to keep the show running. Why? I don't know. That's a bigger thing too. That's beyond us. But
It's
that's
it's
that,
a it's a it's a it is a well powered machine that
it's
view is. It's a well
very,
powered.
very, very lubed up. Okay, very lubed up.
Yeah.
And that's why they're
Yeah.
very conscious of the people that they put in it to keep that thing
Mm-hmm.
moving. And then it takes you
Mm-hmm.
take the time, we're gonna place you on the shelf here because we're gonna do this, and then we'll bring you back off, and then somebody else is going on the shelf here, and things like that.
Yep. Mhm.
Because it's a business. It's a
Yeah, they
business.
shake a lot of
It's not
tables
like,
over
oh,
there.
we love people so much, let's do things and things like that. You talk to singers, they be like, it's not about singing. You talk to actors and be like, it's about telling the story. It's, if you're gonna get into it and tell the story, it's not about people getting into these positions in front of cameras and microphones and things like that and just doing what they love for the sake of doing what they love, because that happens every day and these people don't make it on front of a camera in a moment's
At
notice,
all. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
even if they do, don't get the back end of maybe some other things. And that's
Right.
whatever, however that all works, and the timing and the things. But that's just it. Because at the end of the day, people are talented every day. People are talented all over. Somebody just as talented as Meryl Streep, somebody sing just as good as Beyonce or fucking Chloe Bailey, because
Mhm.
Chloe sings better than Beyonce. So we already up one right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody out there doing
So
these
we
things.
supposed to
It's
disappear.
about it's about the people that play the game. And I think that was it Drink Champs? I don't know. But they were saying how, well, who was that said that? They're saying, we bring the people in, and it's like, okay, but this is a singer. And it's like, okay, let's see if this singer is going to be the type of thing. And they send in these secret people. We're gonna send in the stylist and the publicist and have this conversation with them and see how they even function with us. You know what I'm saying? To see if they're even qualified to go out and do a red carpet, to be invited to a Diddy White party or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
not about your talent, because Carisha
It's
don't got
not.
no talent.
Right.
Carisha don't have none. It's
No, it does
JT.
not.
JT
It's
put
always
Carisha
been
and
JC.
always needed
Girl.
Carisha to keep the thing moving because Carisha is
Yeah.
malleable. Carisha want to
Hmm.
do the things. What you want me to do,
Yeah.
Diddy?
Yeah.
What you want me to do? That's something at Black China, because Black China didn't do a what you want me to do thing. That's the thing, kind of Kanye West. I'm here because I got a right to be here. You know what I'm saying? And now all this turmoil and strife and whatever the case may be, or now with well, shit, they both rebranded because Kanye is Yay,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah. He did. He definitely
Uh,
did rebrand himself. But oh man,
it's a mess. Okay,
the
Queen Elizabeth,
whole. Hey,
is that?
friend.
Oh no, that's not my. You
That's
look like my
interesting.
auntie Queen Ellie. But that's not kind of, but that is what that's it. That is what it is. And every
Yeah.
time if I watch a documentary, if I watch a new movie, if I, what I'm saying, watch a comedy special or something like that, that's kind of the angle. First of all, why? Timing wise, what's
Right.
going on now? Like I said, like Candy and what you call it, they doing all this stuff because they're trying to promote their thing. All publicity is good publicity. You know what I'm saying? So that sort of thing.
Hmm.
So now, what are we doing here with Monique in this thing, and how does this fall into like how everything else? If we put it on a spreadsheet, where would this fall amongst everything else that's been going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you don't have to look too far to see how things make sense.
Yeah.
You don't have to you don't have to look too far, but you have to look.
Yeah. You have to. Yeah.
You have to
You
look. And
definitely. I mean, ooh, man. You gave me a lot to think about, especially with that whole Bernie Mac situation, because I just feel the kind of way.
I
But
just recently, within the past, I'm gonna tell you, I'm so serious. Within the past three, maybe no, probably since before the pandemic. So maybe 4 or 5, recently, 4 or 5 years, I stopped taking a moment for Bernie Mac. I said, okay, no, Bernie, let me just let him rest. But I
ooh,
compared to that every time it was like Bernie, like, oh my God. I don't think about anybody like that. No, even when Kobe Bryant died, Aaliyah died, I would Bernie Mac had did something. Even
Man,
John,
do you
I did
know?
take it
I'm not
for
even a I'm
today.
not even a basketball fan, but
Mm-hmm.
Kobe messed me up. Like I'm
Child,
not
nobody expecting
like
that.
I'm just like I'm not even all that into that like that because I mean I know the game enough to be watched. I like it more than football if I have to watch sports. But then
Mm-hmm.
it's just like and Kobe has always been just that sports figure to me. You know what
Kobe
I
is
mean?
all.
So
Yes.
he was that guy. So it's like so when he unalive, I was like, dang, like and then right after that, it was Chadwick Boseman. And that shook me up because I'm like, he don't cause no problems. And I've watched like even him being in certain
Yeah.
commercials and doing certain things, like I've watched this whole thing. He has a long history, but he wasn't really until he got to a certain space and he started doing like different black characters and then he went to Black Panther. He
Mm-hmm.
was so and he's so talented. Like he's multi-talented. And for him to go like that, I was like, this is and the thing about it was that when I seen the picture, I was concerned. Everybody was on that internet, and that's what pissed me off so much. Everybody was on that internet talking mad shit, like, "Hey, he looked in head, bad. He looked at like
What
just
did they
saying crap."
do?
And I'm like, y'all don't see something's wrong. Like
But
y'all
what did
don't
they do?
see.
And the one monkey don't stop no show, and the train must keep moving. But what did they do? Chadwick, he came out, he did Black Panther, made the money for the people. He done now, he done dead. He done
Yeah,
dead. But
it
what
was
did
for
they
the
do?
culture.
They went and polished off Jonathan Majors and put him in these same
Mm-hmm.
positions to do these very same things.
Yeah.
And his initiation or
Mm-hmm.
it's a test to see will the people rally or what will be the response is that now first because first while he was shooting Creed it dropped that he was his white wife was coming to the damn set too. So now you sitting there with
Mm.
this white. Now Creed drops, Ant drops, or whatever that he's Superman superhero he is, and things like that.
Yeah.
After two drops and everything like that, and now you sitting there caught up with this white woman and things like that, and it's just like
I'm
that's
just like, oh
it,
Lord.
because you have, and let me,
He
I'm all
must have said no to something.
my opinions as well too. But the thing is that you have all of these things going on, and as a black man in the entertainment industry, you see all these things going on, and you see this place that they put you, you see this place that they put you in to make these moves and do these things in these movies to do these things. What and it don't take but a minute, it don't take but a second to get upset and do something. But I would think that first of all, you might be in a good mood or you might be stressed, whatever case may be. But I don't think you would be doing anything to jeopardize any of what's going on right now. You know what I mean? Like I said, and I don't know the situation. Is she pestering him and things like that? I don't know. But if that's your long-standing girlfriend or if that's your wife and things like that, she shouldn't be doing anything to push you to a point that now you are convicted of assault against this white woman. But that's the initiation. Now, how do people respond to that? How do people rally behind them? Do the movies drop? Do the things go up and things like that? Will they bring back Lovecraft Country? You know what I'm saying? Things like that to see what hold, what power, what influence does Jonathan Majors have? Because now we don't have Chadwick Boseman. We done away with Chadwick Boseman because I'm gonna say maybe he wasn't malleable. Maybe he was.
Man.
And maybe after being in Wakanda and not being malleable, and now he's not going to be able to, or he can't. Um, he's got so much behind him that now people are rallying because this whole Wakanda thing. Kids 3 years old is
Yeah.
all about Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? So the influence and the impact is
Mhm.
there. That impact alone, I think the thing about, and that's the thing
So
about it.
you gonna say that you
It's
don't
not
think he was
for
sick
us.
either?
The impact is for
You don't
other
think he was sick either?
generations. Tiz
So
was
you don't think he was sick
devastated when
either?
they found out Chadwick Boseman died.
That hurt my
Devastated.
spirit. That hurt my. I was like, oh my god, like, and it was just the thing about it is that I wasn't thinking about oh he, no more Black Panther, like it was nice, but the thing
Hmm.
about it is that and I mean I loved it when I went to go see it 3 times, so I loved it, but then okay fine, I loved it because of the fact of what it meant to the culture and what it meant for us to see ourselves in this futuristic, we running shit, we got a whole kingdom type of situation. It was good for the culture and the fact that him as a person who is not problematic, he don't know nobody. He works. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the way he speaks, he's humble. Ain't nobody in the industry have anything bad to say about the dude. And then one time he's sick and it's visible that he's sick. It's not
Right.
like anything. Like he's visibly sick. The thing about it is that I think we pick and choose. It's like we love to see you at your lowest and we love to see you at the top because everybody was over there like, yeah, he Black Panther, everybody, Wakanda forever, Wakanda forever. And then now when he's in his weakest moments, when he's going through these things of being in his, with all these toxins in his body because he's dying of cancer, now
Hmm.
everybody like, oh, he looked like this and had all this commentary to say. And I'm just like, y'all don't see this man, and then days later, he's not here no more. So it's like it's we've been so desensitized to shit, and it's like, damn, y'all don't we don't see we don't see what's hurting in our own communities, and then that's why when we get to see these celebrities when they're at their worst, it's like we revel in it, and that's the thing that hurt me, and it's just like it will never be. I don't think it'll ever be because even with his wife, like, and then his wife being there, seeing her that heartbroken.
I was just looking her up. Hmm.
Ooh, like like, and I'm just like, I mean, because it is social media. Yes. And I understand, like, I mean, she's racially ambiguous, but I mean, she's a black woman to be fine. She black, but she love that man. I don't
Period.
care. She love that man. She
Yeah.
loved she loved that man. And I think she was good to him in his last time because she's weeping for him. And everybody who's been broken hearted and had they anything happen, it's a process you go through, and she's probably had to go through a lot of that process on her own because who does she really know? No, you know what I mean? Like, she probably know a few people, but who does she know? You know what I
You don't
mean?
know. You
And
don't
and,
know
and
who.
and who does she know that's not gonna try to capitalize off of her because she's in this weak moment? You know what I mean? She has no protection.
We don't know that though. And like you said, you try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I said you can't give none of the benefit of the doubt. A lot of times, like I say, it's my opinion, and one day I will have the facts to back it up. I'm gonna have Jada Pinkett on my red table. But the thing is, Jada was the one with, that had made the connections, that was involved with the people. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Will that brought Jada up. It was Jada that
Yeah.
kind of sustained Will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah.
with, not the same thing, but people sleep on Corey Gamble with being with Chris. Chris can't
Hmm.
be the calculated woman that she is and just let some nigga just come up in and be, you know what I'm saying, on these yachts with the Philippe Patek and all that stuff. Yeah, it's just not some random Joe. Now you look into Corey Gamble and you know that he'd have been around the people into the things and things like that. So you can't underestimate. And in these wives or whatever the case may be, unless you talk about a basketball player that pulled the girl up like she was 16, like fucking Vanessa Bryant or whatever the case may be, most times
Yeah.
these people have gone to college like this girl, Ledward, what's her name? Taylor Simone Ledward, extremely
Yeah.
talented singer. She graduated from California State Polytechnic School, Cal Poly, whatever. So things like that, whatever relationships that she built in school, whatever relationships wherever her neighborhood is and things like that, you just don't know what, especially when people like that are associated with people like Chadwick who died. So I'm talking about her. I'm talking about especially these black men with these blighter wives. Um,
Yeah.
I'm talking about her. I'm talking about Virgil Abloh. I'm talking about who else? I want to say somebody else before them. I'm looking at who they are. Who are these
Mm.
women that even found themselves with these men to now be the beneficiaries? Oh, what you call it? Twitch wife, to be the beneficiaries of this great legacy that these people have, because they all do, from Chadwick to Twitch. They all do have these great legacies, and these women is bestowed upon them. And now they sit here, and now even with Vanessa Bryant,
Yeah.
she is the beneficiary of the Kobe Bryant legacy. And now,
Yeah.
like,
I don't
that
like the
comes
way the
with
family
something.
doing
She
her.
just don't go back to being no thing. No, bitch, we need you to show up at the philanthropy. We need you to go to the thing and do the thing. Put your daughter up on the red carpet and do the thing and do the thing and do the thing. None of those things was happening before Kobe died.
Yeah. Well.
None of those things was happening. They killed Kobe too. So and that's just the thing. How it all makes sense. I called deaths, but I ain't called a specific death yet. Because I don't know. Rihanna showed up at the Super Bowl pregnant. I don't know what these celebrities got planned. I don't know what the people got planned for us through these
Okay,
celebrities.
now how did you feel about her performance?
I
Because
didn't
I
even
got some
watch
thoughts about that.
I have to watch it. I didn't care to watch it. I said I would watch it, but I never doubled back around to it. And then when they said that she was pregnant, I was just like, because I was like, okay, so now we're doing too much. We're doing too much at the Super Bowl
That's
alone. Now
what
I'm
I
ready.
said because it took for a minute. I didn't even know she was because to me the she had to turn to a certain side for me to even notice. After I
Right.
noticed she really wasn't doing nothing, I wasn't really paying much attention to her. I was looking at her dancers because usually she has good dancers. She always have good people who choreograph her stuff. So I'm usually watching. If I'm watching Rihanna, I'm watching for that anyway. It wasn't until the next day that I really looked at it. And I'm like, wait, is she pregnant? I'm like, why is she even there then? Like I'm like. I
Oh, so she
didn't
didn't have a Beyonce
no, she had the suit like you knew the whole time if you was really like looking, but she had
right,
but she had the whole red and it was kind of like it was
like latex
slightly tight,
leather.
so it's like and so I'm looking because she did literally just have a baby, so I'm like okay maybe she got a little thing,
She
but then
got
I'm looking I'm
pregnant
like
a
oh she
month
like all
later
full
because
all the
she
way
got
out
the
there.
baby. She got to be at least 6 months. Her son born in May
Just
13th. So
born,
it'll be
right?
13.
I don't know what they was expecting for her to look like outside of that because then when I had to literally look real hard. I'm like, oh, she got a full body. She pregnant again.
Was
Like,
it cancer?
so I'm
Cancer
not.
ball. Mm-hmm,
I'm like, she
mm-hmm.
was literally. She was about to pop in. Like, if she would have did one more false move, that baby would have came a little bit early. That's how it was. So I'm like, oh shoot. But I'm like, I still in my mind, I'm thinking like, why? Because to me, I'm like, she ain't doing nothing. And then I'm sitting here like looking at it, and people were mad at me like, but she's pregnant. She's pregnant. I'm like, I get that she was pregnant, but that's my whole point of why I don't understand why she was there in the first place.
It
Like
was
it just
9 months
wasn't. They had
from
her
May.
all up.
They had her ugly.
They had her all up on the little thing, like the
Oh,
levitating. I was like, why would you have her that up? Like now I'm concerned. Like now, okay, well she's pregnant. Why was she up that high? Like she could have been down. Like I don't know.
Beyonce was
It gave me
pregnant with
anxiety.
when the Grammys had her reclining that chair. She was swollen with a swollen ankle, could barely walk when Dubai put her up on that pedestal.
I didn't
This
look. She said she rubbed her back. I'm like, I did not notice. I did not. I swear I was not. I was into the dancers. They were cool. And I didn't literally see that until like the video afterwards. And I'm like, I had to really look like, oh, she's like
that's too much.
full pregnant. Like
It's
full pregnant. I'm like, wow.
it's 9 months from May to February. Baby May for yeah, Grammys. What you call it in February. The same way, and I guess I just don't know, and that's why it's. I gotta because when I be dramatic like that, I forget what I'm gonna say. The same way, I don't know, Beyonce, the thing. Beyonce performed in Dubai. This is the same thing I'm saying. The same thing I said about this. Beyonce performed in Dubai. 30. I think they floated up to like $32 million. She got paid for that. Blue probably got about 10. She was in Costa Rica for a month and some change. They had probably rehearsed probably months before that, maybe 3 months before that, and that's why she took so long in Costa Rica. Maybe she sprained her ankle rehearsing when she got back. I don't know. But Beyonce been dancing a long time, okay?
Yep.
And she did
Yep.
that whole homecoming thing on Netflix, even
Hmm.
for Coachella
But
period.
you can't compare her to Beyonce.
No. I'm not comparing Rihanna to Beyonce.
No,
I'm talking about.
I'm being facetious, but that's what people be saying. They not the same. You
Never,
can't do that. She
I
not
have never
Beyonce.
ever compared. Who they are two completely different women. Period.
Yeah.
But in the industry, they are simply artists.
Hmm.
And being artists, you are on a strict time schedule. You have deadlines. You have goals to meet. You know what I'm saying, and things like that. You have obligations. Beyonce spraining her ankle in Dubai to say that okay, we rehearsed all this choreo, all this stuff for September, October, November. and um I leave for Costa Rica late November. I don't come back till early January. And then 3 weeks later is the Dubai thing. And in that 3 weeks, I sprained my ankle. So now we have reshifted the whole choreography in 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
don't make sense. That my like I've been saying for a while is that Beyonce done dancing. Like she not about to be up on that stage dancing with Ashley and them
Not
like
doing.
she with Ashley and them for all these years. Things have changed. But that
Mm-hmm.
was the thing. She didn't dance because she had her ankle sprain. Beyonce rehearses a lot. Beyonce
Yeah.
danced and be in an 8 count all day in the right shoes so that things like that don't happen because this is a $32 million contract that I have. And granted, I might get a portion of this. Piper gonna get some of this. Diddy gonna get me. And Jay Z gonna get some of this. Whatever the case may be. Whoever orchestrated, whatever the case may be. I
You
have
think
an
she's spending
obligation
her money
as,
like that?
huh?
You think she's spending her money like that for real?
I don't
It
think
ain't going
Beyonce
to the
for
Diddy.
30, not the whole 32. No, she had to give
But she's
somebody a
put,
little.
but she's putting that boy like a pizza.
No, no.
You
The thing about Beyonce too, I think I said that earlier. Beyonce gets stock. Beyonce gets points and in the thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to pay me $1 million right now. I'm gonna get $10 million in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? That sort of
yeah.
thing, and that's how Beyonce works. But for her to have created herself a liability to even affect that contract like that, that don't make sense. And
Yeah.
then, like I said, to have changed the choreo, it's like, okay, so we did the choreo. So she wasn't ever dancing because the choreo was rehearsed that same way because you're not
Hmm.
switching all of them. Maybe you are, but you talk
But you
about
can't
over
do
and
none of that. So everybody got to go home because you got to still do that and you got to still be present. Cause,
right.
cause you can't do none of that here, but I'm gonna get my money though. But I mean, of course, she had to still pay her dancers though,
And that's what you got to pay all the
cause it ain't their
people.
fault,
She got to pay all the people, but
right?
that's what I'm saying. The timing of that, or like it just didn't make sense. And even when you book Beyonce, okay, you are booking the songs, and now I think Beyonce, now we're getting into the auditory, spellish, boule-ish, whatever, but that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Um, but for her to have sprained her ankle, and when you book Beyonce, it's like I know she's gonna sing "Me, Myself, and I," but I know this bitch about to dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So for her to have
yeah.
sprained her ankle, that now you are affecting the contract, and so that sort of thing. Now I'm saying that situation, and then we get Rihanna who had a baby in May, and
Hmm.
9 months from having that baby, in 9 months almost exactly, right? Because the Super Bowl was
I
February
think
13th,
so.
something like
That
that.
be, it got to be
Um,
maybe 18 months. Like the 1 year got to be like at least one and a half, and
well, I'm talking
she's
about
just
nine
not
months
about to.
exactly from May 13th to the Super Bowl day. Well, yeah, the Super Bowl because the Grammys was
Yeah,
the
'cause the
5th.
Super
The
Bowl.
Super Bowl was 7 days after that. So what's that? The
I
13th or
Even
the
though I'm
12th?
like maybe I must have missed it somehow, some way, because they just now popped up and told me that she was pregnant with the first one, and then she had it, and then it was some I don't even remember the break in it. That's why I'm just like it threw me off to see her pregnant at the Super Bowl because the timing didn't make sense to
I
me.
did all that dramatics because this is what I'm putting together. Okay,
Uh huh.
traveling. So we did the
Uh
nine
huh.
months exactly from having the baby to doing the Super Bowl. She has that baby in May. She gets married. I mean, she gets pregnant. Rihanna got to be at least 6 months. We 3 months and we talking 3 months back from January. So now we're in October. She gets pregnant 4 or 5 months after having a baby. She's trying to tell the people that she don't know that she was pregnant. At the same time, reports was coming out that she wasn't making rehearsals for the Super Bowl. I wonder why.
Mm. Because the way this make it seem like but people are not thinking about it. Because I'm like, I don't know how you have babies back to back. Like, I mean, you need at least
Well, I get the babies
six
back to
weeks to
back, and
recover.
that's not my problem. Her having that baby back to back. My problem is her talking about, oh, I don't know, I didn't know I was pregnant. Like I said last night, my idea of celebrities is that
But
they
it was
got
a
doctors
planned
on
reveal.
call, huh?
I don't. It would have to be a planned reveal, and I don't mind her planning the reveal. But I'm saying, if you were gonna do this on a Super Bowl day,
Yes,
and
because
this is
you
how
want
you want to
people to
plan it
watch the
out,
Super
you could have
Bowl.
been on level. I don't. Why would you be that high up? Why would you have a little floating thing in the sky?
That's unsafe,
Because it's
and that's a
and
hazard.
these high profile women. Like I said, when Beyonce was pregnant with them twins, and they put her in that chair, and they put her all the way back. Not
I
with
was
twins,
scared. I
you
had
know.
anxiety. It was, ooh, I had anxiety the whole time.
But
It
that's what
annoyed
they're
me.
doing. That is the ritualistic behaviors. That is all that stuff that they're doing. What they do it with everybody, but as you can see, there's levels to this thing.
Yeah.
Rihanna with her son. I don't think Rihanna care about having no damn kids. I just don't think she care, and I also don't think that she care with the way that she took her son to her favorite restaurant, the same restaurant Jay Z and I did a video on that too, whatever. But that same their favorite restaurant that she had, walking out that place, all them cameras flashing in that boy's eyes, he barely can fucking open his
Mhm.
damn eye.
Mm.
Rihanna don't
Yeah.
care. She's about
But
her.
maybe she done made all the money she can make. She done did the music. It ain't hitting
That's
all like that because people
that's
act
clear.
like they care, but they really don't. Now she
That's
like,
good.
fuck it, I'm a hot baby.
Well, but that's and like I said, this is my opinion and my perspective. But I don't think she really cared to have kids, especially with everything going on. I got all. I'm not really thinking about music, but this Fenty shit is really taking the fuck off. I've rebranded. I have
Right.
reinvigorated myself and reinvigorated my fans, or even brought on new fans because these things you might not like my music, but this makeup is universal. You might not
Yeah.
like my makeup or my music, but
Yeah.
this lingerie and this loungewear
It's
about to hit.
it. Yeah.
So there's that. Now she done elevated and brought herself up to the billionaire status. Now we need an offering from you.
Oh no.
And now they need something from her. I served. I will be of service.
Now we
That
need
was
your
all from
seed.
John
Damn, that's fucked up.
Legend.
Ah, fucked up. Ugh.
So I did. So I give you. I got my son, and now he's out and things like. Because even to have the baby out in celebrity, like why? Why did you take him to that famous restaurant everybody know you love, where you get the gnocchi and the calabrese or whatever the case may be? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Why would you
Yeah.
do that? Y'all not even doing. It's not like a family. First of all, y'all all look crazy. ASAP had on greens and pewters and whatever, and Rihanna had on lace or sheer and fucking Wu Tang sweater. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know what the vibe is here. Like, but that's the thing. We have to be out. We have to make it known. We have to be visual. We have to do these
Yeah.
things. That's what the people want to see. I'm
Mm-hmm.
wondering if Rihanna even gonna be as naked as she was with the first damn pregnancy. Probably not. But why not?
Probably not.
Because you done switched up this whole the idea of what pregnancy can be and what pregnancy should look like and things like that. Be proud
Yeah,
of your
this
son.
is
And now you got
revolutionary.
to cover this up the second time. Like what? Like I just want the same.
Yeah.
Not. I even want the same energy. I just want a better understanding of what the fuck is really going on. And that's the thing. They don't want us. They don't want you to understand it. They just want you to live it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a part of your life. These celebrities get pregnant and don't even fucking know. Like I said, these celebrities get these doctors. That boy Augie, I don't know what his name is, but I'm calling him Augie. I don't know why. But that boy, he got been a 2 month checkup, 3 month checkup, 9 month checkup, and that
Yeah.
doctor ain't looking at you because the motherfucking doctor probably came to the goddamn penthouse. Okay, now let's look at me
Yeah.
cussing like Monique. But you got to see
Right.
the difference between seasoning your sentences and being excessive.
A little bit. Yeah.
But like I said, she barely kept the doctor come up to the penthouse. You know what I'm saying? And the doctor said, "Well, you look a lot like you did 9 months ago, Robin. You know what I'm saying? Have you been? Let me run your blood." Like I just don't think
Yeah.
that she. I don't know. Now she's not performing at the damn things, and then she shoots that Vogue cover with the boy, the British Vogue cover with her son, and A said
Mm.
she's pregnant in that. That's why she has on that big black dress. Oh, but I didn't
Yeah.
know I was pregnant. Bitch, you've been
Oh,
naked for nine
Lord.
months.
Right.
Don't
Oh, yeah.
don't play don't because I love like and that's the thing. So like what you talking about? Am I hate? I love Monique. Like I love the
I
way she
love
carries
her
herself.
down.
Monique is a part of my you know what I'm saying my growth or my childhood and like Monique is in that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we've grown together and things like that. And I've appreciated her. Same thing with Beyonce. Beyonce is a part of major parts of my life and things like that. And you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I being a fan. and watching the change or the adjustment. And that's the thing too. If you're aware of that, then you are. And if you're not, then you're missing out. But as
Yeah.
people do change, then you do have that ability to be like, well, I like that and I didn't like this. I like that and I didn't like this. Or maybe, well, that's not the right move. And because
Yeah.
the thing is, we ride so long together, and then you make this sharp turn. It's like, well, I didn't really ever plan on going that way. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, maybe turn people off with Kanye West. Great music, great things, whatever the case may be. But it's like, well, I never really thought like that. One reason too, people are not open minded and want people to
No.
be,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, uh, on the racetrack with their blinders on, like a Kentucky Derby horse.
Hmm.
But no, sometimes
Yeah.
people want to look around, and sometimes the blinders is sheer. You know what I'm saying? And I might be able to see something in my periphery and
Little
things like
bit.
that.
Yeah.
And then that only elevates and educates yourself. And you have to always be open to that. And as I elevate and educate, I see this switch and the change. Beyonce's voice is deep, and the music is just as deep. Rihanna ain't
Mm.
even singing, but she is now what she has done is dipped her toe in every industry so that now
Yeah.
she's sitting somewhere that Beyonce can't even sit at. And now we sitting here always talk
Absolutely.
about Beyonce. Now Beyonce might bring in the money, but she don't bring in the thing we talk now we talking like Kim level, Kylie level, Rihanna level type shit. Beyonce don't compare to none of that. But that's Beyonce place and that's their place. And as I said, I don't compare to girls.
Right.
But at the
And
end of
they've
the day,
all been good at their niche.
huh?
I said they've all been good at their niche, at their particular thing. They've all been good.
No, and that's the thing
Yep.
because and I said that's why I said the industry needed Rihanna.
Yeah.
They needed the sound, they needed the person, they needed that mentality, they needed that behavior. Same thing with
Mm.
Cardi B. Same thing with Nicki Minaj, but more so with Cardi B because Nicki was ready, and willing to do it. But if she's not doing it, same like I said about them doing things, she's probably at the not at the probably at the top of my list, top three, and she ain't three.
Yeah.
Um, of people that have come into the game and are not who they are or are not who they intended to come in the game to be. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And then they need these people because, oh, if I can bring this female rapper in and push her to get her body done and things like this, and the raps and the things
Mm.
like that, then we have
But see, but
we have
the thing about
created
this
a
is
place
she
to
don't
be.
have to do anything else because she's the blueprint of the situation. Like for a long
But
time, she didn't have
she's the
she she talked about she talked about there's no competition. Yeah, because there's nobody out here for a long stint in time. It was 10 years of nobody in the rap game. And she started off her career, her influence, and started off with the Lauryn Hills, with the Queen Latifahs, with the all of these people who were in the rap game in all of these places long before her, the Foxy Browns. Like I mean, all these people who came in, and then she came in, so I'm about to do this. You know what I'm saying? The Little Kims. You know what I mean? She definitely dropped a lot off of her stuff, but it was nobody coming in like that. Nobody was doing anything for like a good stretch of time. It was all Nicki Minaj. Now that it becomes these other people, now she got competition. Now people saying certain stuff. Now we have a problem. You know what I mean? And it's
I
like
think
you go ahead. I'm sorry. My bad.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's like she's not. The thing about it is that when people have been sat down and there's nobody in the industry to really top that. Of course you're gonna have a clean run. Of course you are. But then now that you've made your money, you've done all this. Now it's like, oh well, things got to move for me. Well, no, they were already using you as a puppet at the time. You know what I mean? Now the stakes are higher because now it's a different industry. Now you got to fit a certain aesthetic. Yeah, you might have started this thing, but they didn't shot this thing. It's far off. You know what I'm saying? Off kilter now. Like it's everywhere. So you've already gotten this aesthetic. Now it's like, and then it's just you're not about to get. The thing about Nikki is the fact I feel like she just needs all of this adoration. Like she needs people to do that. It's like you're not about to get all that. You know what I'm saying? They've been able to copy your platform with their own thing and been able to make a platform for themselves. And because they see you do it and see you play the game in the moment where you played it, they're gonna do the same thing to you and be higher than you. They're not about to. I mean, they're not about to do that. Like it's just how it is. And even you need to be humble because there are people that came before you. You know what I mean? If anybody's gonna mend that situation between you and her, because I from what I hear, they beefing or whatever. Her and Lil Kim, is something going on with them. You need to be the person to mend fences with that. You know what I'm saying? As best as you can, because that's the person who, you know what I'm saying. You model off her,
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you can't expect any type of appreciation for you when you have not done the work to be able to mend the conflict that you may have had or created or have with the people before you. That's just not gonna happen. It's respect begets respect.
I do agree with that. Um, but we're talking about the industry here,
Yes,
and
we are. I'm sorry.
no, no, but that is the clear difference of what is like reality and what is the industry.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if we're talking about the rap game, the female rap game, we literally are left with cliffhangers when like Remy Ma goes to prison. And that is
yeah,
where it left the space. When Remy Ma goes to prison and Diddy never puts any emphasis into Babs. We're
yeah,
left with this gap of, you know what I'm saying, no talent, no entertainment in this space. And then we
yeah.
get this girl that people I already knew. Like I told the people, listen, it was Remy and Nikki that was fucking back in the city before Nikki got big. Remy was already big and things like that. When Nikki didn't have no titties, she had a big ass nose and a big ass head, and she didn't have
Was
no.
they kicking the kick? Now, see, that would make more sense than what the thing. That would make more sense with the situation than how deep it is, because it just seemed like if
But
it's just girls who
let me tell you
combative and
something.
in the streets in the
This
rap
is
game.
it.
I don't care about that.
This is what it is because this is how I see it. However, Nikki comes to the forefront, whether that's on the back of or on the heels or being in the same rooms as Remy at the same time, she was able to be
Hmm.
picked up by somebody like Tunchi, right? And
Hmm.
not for nothing. Well, you could say the same thing about Jay-Z and Tunchi and the fact that they brought people into the industry that completely shifted the game. You know what I'm saying? For for eh, for all intents and purposes, intentionally, because they knew what they were doing when they brought Nicki Minaj in, and Nicki Minaj tells a story about how Lil Wayne wasn't going to sign her because Bedrock, it wasn't nasty enough. And if you remember, that's the same thing Biggie told Lil Kim. So when Nicki went back and wrote the "I put this pussy in your sideburns," he said, "Okay, now you're ready." And I'm willing to bet that in that same conversation where he said, "Now you ready," he said, "These are the things that we'll be doing to you if this is the career
Hmm.
that you want to have.
Right.
First, you get your boobs, and then we'll get you a butt. And your body will continue to shift over the next 10 years, and you will
Mm.
become the new standard of what a female rap artist will be." In the
Yep.
conversation of her needing to give accolades to Little Kim didn't, I'm not going to say Little Kim didn't originate looks. I'm not going to say that.
Hmm.
But Little Kim did some things that were risque for that time, and
Yeah.
Little Kim did some things that kind of looks and things like that that kind of put her name in the gold and right at the top of the list and stuff like that, so that anybody that came after her should give her that credit. But like I
Yeah.
said earlier, when you're in a situation where everybody's pushing and pushing you, and you in your own bubble, you're not thinking about nobody else. And if somebody's telling
Exactly.
Nicki Minaj, "Well, here's the new look, and we're gonna do a couple of this and a couple of that," but every bitch that comes after you is gonna look like
Hmm.
you. So I don't need to give credit to Little Kim because I'm the new standard. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
And
I
maybe
see
maybe
what you're
if she don't
saying.
like Little Kim or not, I don't, and that could be long standing from personal thing. Maybe she don't like the Notorious K.I.M. Maybe she didn't
Right.
about crush on you. You know what I'm saying? But you can't
I
continue to
heard
give these
Kim basically
accolades
say
to
that
a girl.
that she literally disrespected her in a sense of like respect factor. Like she literally disrespected her on a respect side. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like, why would you say anything when she ain't really been talking about her? At least that's not what I've seen.
Because that then
Yeah.
goes back into what she says or what how Lotto says it, and really Lotto is like, they were looking for people to come in and get on Nicki Minaj. They needed somebody to come in and do that. That's business. They wanted somebody to come on and do
Mhm.
these things. And even though it would be great for Nicki and Kim to get on a record, many records they could do summer bops to the end of time. But the fact of the matter is that I guess it's more beneficial, or there's more money in conflict, or the fact that the storyline is again on the backs of blacks to put these to pit
Yeah.
these women against each other. Because at the very end of the day, it ain't no reason with Little Kim having a cut that she has sits Nicki Minaj's ass down and say, "Bitch, this what the fuck we doing? Because we not doing this no more." Period.
Right.
But that's not what happens. But what and then what does Nicki Minaj do? Like I said, now she's the standard. She is the blueprint of what every rap woman will look like until Coi Leray is the standard of rap women. I don't know, but that's just what it is. That's just what it will be until it changes. But nobody is coming in to make amends because this is the situation that we find ourselves in, and now we find ourselves with Nicki, who is the standard, sitting here
Yeah.
talking to people that have come up or having these opinions and getting into these altercations and these arguments with people that are up underneath her, Cardi B included. Now, my thing with Cardi B is that Cardi B, Cardi
Mm-hmm.
B, Cardi B is the female version of Nicki Minaj. Cardi B is what they wish. Probably, I don't know, because now we have the two, whatever. But if Nicki, because Nicki's a nigga, Nicki's lesbian.
Wait, wait. Hold on, please.
I run
You
it back.
said, run it, run it.
Cardi,
You had said the
Cardi is
Cardi
the
B.
female version of Nicki Minaj.
Please
Nicki,
explain.
Nicki wants to be
Because
with
of her
bitches.
delivery is strong. Because
Not
she's
even,
masculine.
not even. It's not because of that, but because she is a masculine presence. That is how she raps. Nikki wants accolades, and maybe those are in those times. That is when she's venting and probably being her most honest. But I think Nikki want to be recognized for the sacrifices that she made to be the entertainment to the people that appreciate her music. And nobody
Yeah.
will ever acknowledge it that way. And it probably won't be her fans that acknowledge it that way because they see Nikki as this. But this
Right.
is not. Nikki is not Onika. Onika is a different girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's
But
not
how
the
she presents is nigga.
It's
Negro.
completely like yesterday. I was saying that when she look in the mirror, I doubt she recognizes who she sees. I doubt she
Mm.
recognizes who she sees. When she naked, I'm pretty sure she walks past the mirror because as a girl who's a bit more masculine, want to run up on a little poom poom and things like that. I'm not with this ass and these. I'm not doing all of that. But what happened when they gave Nick when they gave the things to Cardi? Cardi get to shaking and moving and dipping and doing. One because she's a woman, well, not a woman, not a woman. That sounds wrong. Woman because she's a lady and she was a stripper. So she's already got those two things in the bag. She's into the tantalization of men and she has the ability to entrance them. You know what I'm saying?
This
She's already got
Nikki
that
has
about
that sexy factor though. Nikki has the
her.
sexy factor. She has a
Nikki,
sexy factor. Yeah.
Nikki got a factor because that's how her body looks.
Okay, but she don't have a. I think she serves it. I think she does
No,
the same. I think
she barely
like they're
got
the
her top
same.
sliding across no stage.
I mean, but she
Nikki's
can't
attractive
dance
woman.
though. Nikki can't dance like that. Like she ain't. She's not gonna do no pole work. She gonna twerk this ass. That's it.
She could barely do that. Yeah, she's not dancing because she don't
You
dance.
know,
She
it's a
to
civil
Nicki
pop
Minaj
pie.
in the club back in the '90s, posted up in the club along the wall, ready to get shaked on. That's Nikki. That was Onika. But that was the thing. And she could rap. And she could rap and she was good at it. And she could rap
See,
and
that's
she
the thing.
wanted
Just
to rap.
because you ain't got no ass, don't mean you ain't supposed to work it like you got something back there. That's what she should have been doing. She should have been loving what she had before before
That
she.
wasn't gonna be her end. Like I said, when he said, okay, okay, all right, okay, let me think, put this pussy on your side. He said, that's the verse I'm looking for. This is what's next. And that's just that. They said, Drake, you about to shed all the white shit, or you gonna do this pandering to white people and black people the way you do, but you're gonna be more black affect. We're gonna put you in these braids. We can have a little mixed kid though,
Yeah,
a little light skinned baby though,
him,
damn white baby though. But
man.
you're gonna have a chokehold on black bitches, and you don't even like black bitches.
And you know what? I ain't gonna hold you. Jimmy from Degrassi really turning into Drake. That threw me because I was like, he's this. That's all I. And then it's just like, did he look familiar? I was like, oh, he's Drake. And it's like, I know it's music, but over time, it's like it's cute, it's nice, it's something to bop to every now and again. But now I'm just like, all right, I see what you on. You
I'm
emotional and masculine at the same time, and
one
it's cute.
song
If
every
it fits your aesthetic, it
and
fits
but
him
But you
to
know what?
me.
You know what? And that's the thing too about the industry. First of all, I want to shout out to the people for 13,000 likes. Thank you guys so much, and in the shares, thank you so much. But that's the thing about the industry. People are placed. We talking like CIA. We talking FBI. We talking CGK, KGB. We're talking like we're talking. I don't want to use the word Illuminati because that's like a buffer. That's like a buzzword. But we're talking like
Hmm.
secret society. We're talking about people that make
Yeah,
the
higher
decision.
the higher ups.
Exactly.
Not talk about
We're
the
talking about
higher
people
ups.
that implement. We got stylists. We have things.
Yeah.
We have like image creators. Their jobs. They get paid six, seven figures. You know what I'm saying? To do these things for these specific reasons to manipulate. And their last name is probably Rothschild or whatever the case may be. I don't know because they
Hmm.
have been long-standing, descendants of these people that have already been in place of this. They don't keep picking up new people. No, they've been raised these people to grow up to change these people's image and things like that. Like I said earlier, when somebody new come up, they said they're gonna send in the stylist and the publicist to grill them and act, not grill them, put them in a put them in a position and ask them questions and see how they feel to then go back and to report to these people and say they ready yet or they're not ready yet. And that's where we
Hmm.
find people like that's how we get to people, everybody, honestly, from Beyonce
Yeah.
to Drake. And we're going to go back. We can even go back further. We can go back Jimi Hendrix. We can go back into all that. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, everybody in music is used for the same purpose. We need you to influence the people. That's
Hmm.
why it's so many different forms, because I'm sure is one fucking Johann Sebastian Bach's tune that we all could listen to, whatever the case may be. But no, we need all these different options and things like that because we need to appease to the people that's over here that don't like the custom. We need to appease the people over here that don't like the country. We need to appease over here
Right.
that don't like the bluegrass and things like so. Now we have all this, but it's all for the same purpose. Can you move the people? Can
Yeah.
you influence? Can you be influential? And then
Hmm.
when you put Nicki, when you put Beyonce, when you put Drake in into these categories and you edify them the way that you do, and they conduct themselves the way that they do, that kind of keeps them in that edificated place, edificated, edified place, you can't
Hmm.
help but people. Not I do, but you tend to follow right behind it because they have led. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And they continue to lead in their demeanor and their behavior. Nicki gonna read the
Yeah.
bitch. Cardi,
The
I mean,
consistency.
Drake
Yeah.
gonna woo the woman, and Beyonce gonna shut
Hmm.
the show down. You know, turn the
Yeah.
lights out. You know what I'm saying? Things
Yeah.
like that. And that's just the
Yeah.
image that continues to keep going, and that's how people can continue to follow them. But you never see Beyonce. Drake is not living his truth, and Beyonce and Nicki ain't living her truth either. So now we're following these characters, and people model their lives
Yeah.
or get so focused on trying to recreate or assimilate, I think, the lifestyle that they
Yeah.
think these people see, and these people are miserable. I talk about Cardi all the time. Her and that son, that boy don't know her name.
Yeah.
Cardi and that man ain't no love in that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that, man. I mean, and I be trying to, but I guess it's some of it do be performative because it's like I don't need to know what you bought your husband and what y'all like. I don't need to know that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we're watching those things, your audience are people who at the moment in time can't afford it. You were just getting off a live talking about how you upset about how we couldn't make it. You know what I'm saying? How we got to go to work and not get paid, and then you go and show pictures of an Escalade you just showed your like we can't relate to that, and then it's like you half relatable and half not. But I think as people, and right back to, I mean, it always comes back to us as consumers because the
Mm-hmm.
industry can only turn a mirror to us. You know what I'm saying? As a collective, that's all the industry to me. Like as I'm looking at stuff because I've watched. But because everything is about social media, I've watched social media in a kind of like an outside looking in type situation. But
Right.
I've when I found myself kind of being emotional about it or kind of feeling like, dang, I'm mad about it and like feeling that thing, I had to really review in my mind like what is making me feel a way about this. And even with the Monique situation, but I'm internally, because of the fact that I love her aesthetic because like you said, this could very well be
a thing that she's just putting on. And at this point, because I felt like I wanted more from her, I didn't receive it. Now I'm just like, okay, I could put you in the compartment of every other entertainer and then just kind of work my way into understanding it that way. But I feel like, to your point though, we become caricatures, or they become caricatures of a certain scheme of things, and they all planted to a certain mindset. And the thing about it is that, and even especially with the whole Will Smith situation, I never care about the whole situation with that, and even into the, like, somebody, once again, because I be late. Somebody had a call. My mama had to text me and say, "Girl, they they smacked." I'm like, what? I'm not like, this ain't real. And at first I'm saying like, this ain't real, until I heard his tone. I'm thinking, oh, but then I'm like, they're actors. And so it's like everything on the outside looking in, I've never thought about it like, I never thought about like, oh, I'm so messed up. I started looking at the threads and at like what everybody was talking about and the way they were talking about it. And that's what lured me in to be like, oh, people probably really taking this shit seriously. Because
There,
it's like, it was certain things that they were like, the things that it was coming out of regular people's mouths. Like, you will never, y'all not gonna
people
reach
like
the
Will
tax
didn't have a
bracket of a
dad,
Will
so I
Smith.
can understand why he'd be
I'm,
so crazy with
I
his
was like,
emotions.
yo,
Like, what?
I'm
Will
like,
had
hey, yo, and then as per usual, right? Cause I, as per usual, the thing that's always pissed me off is usually us, because I mean, I understand that they gonna do what they do, but us, I be really mad at us, because the black men that literally just was so like lividly pissed off,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow. Like, it's just, and the licensing, and the thing that they were consistently, everything was Jada. Even if this man was the one that smacked him, Jada though. Like, that's how everybody was. And that irritated me, because it's like, wow, y'all must do this personally in your personal life. Like, if this is how
Well,
y'all feel,
the men be out here hitting the girl, but I am one of the ones.
you know,
The cause is not the cause, but Jada is not without fault here. At the end of the day, ultimately, it's my slogan on the backs of blacks. Even include Beyonce is included in that too. I think being a part of the industry as a black person, you have to be willing to be. I have been of service. I have served. I will be of service on the backs of me,
yeah,
if you will. That's just the only way that you'll get along. I think in the
get
industry
along. Yeah.
to have any type of success. That whole
Right.
situation, the fact that Will Smith situation played out the way that it did, but again, they want the response, they want the reaction, they want the clicks, they want the comments and things like that. But the fact that it played out the way that it did, and people didn't use, you don't need your third eye. You could use your two good eyes that you got on your head right now to see how all of that played out. And the fact that you said they're actors, I think people didn't even understand that. Like, actors don't act all the time, like all the time. And then if
Yeah.
there's a camera on, there's some sort of character element that I have to put on. I have to sit up straight. I have to laugh. I have to be on. When I
Yeah.
seen the second I saw it, I
Hmm.
said it's in the theater.
That's what I thought too. I was like, this ain't even real. And I'm like, oh, maybe it is. But then it's just like, I didn't even care that it was real, because to me, I feel like this is above my pay grade. Y'all, y'all figure that out the way rich folks do it. But my thing was always the comments and the threads and the people and the think pieces. And I was just like, y'all making me scared. Like, it made it weird. I was telling her thank you in the comments, because she was like, Jada messy. And yes, she did. She did some stuff that was messy, but ultimately she was not the end all be all this entire situation. And if that's how y'all feel, then y'all need to stop saying that men control things and start putting women in their proper place.
And
You can't put women, you can't say that we got to be leaders and this, that, and the third, and then y'all put all of this whole thing stem back from Jada. That just didn't make sense to me,
you
because I'm
can't say
like, this is
women
a
are
grown
weak
man
if they
having an
serve
issue with
and
another
treat
grown
people
man.
and things like that, and at the same time say they have orchestrated and manipulate these people to do these things to end careers. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Yeah,
be that. It can't be both stories. It really can't. And that's the
mm-mm.
thing. It's about it's it, that and that's it's long standing centuries ago. somebody realized the power in women and black people.
Yeah.
Centuries ago, somebody realized the power in people of the homosexual persuasion.
Hmm.
Centuries ago, people acknowledged these things, and in that same period, in that same time, when people acknowledged it, people were fearful and intimidated by it. And it took
Yeah.
one person when the word fuck came about. It took one king that was in a wrong relationship at the wrong time to pass a law to say that you can't fornicate under the consent of a king. So now you can't fuck around because somebody fucked around on the king. Now it's illegal. Or you want to talk about
Mm.
homosexuality, and you say, "Oh, all these men and the men are at the bathhouse, and the women are at the clam bakes, and the things, and nobody's populating. People haven't been pregnant in 2, 3 years. Now it's
Yeah.
illegal to be homosexual
Yep.
because that doesn't populate the earth."
That's the thing, and fast forward to now. That's how a lot of things have been started. That's how a lot of bills have been passed because of situations like this. This can't happen. So this can't. We got to stop this group from having this. They're having too much freedom. They're having too much this. Let's make up these laws. So now there has to be a ruling for them to be separated, or there has to be a ruling for them to be doing this and doing that. And oh, we can't have mixing. So we got to make this illegal. Like it's the same thing.
Yep, yep.
But we
Limiting.
but and I'm gonna put this back to the industry because we're apparently we're intellects here, so we can go either way. We can
Okay,
go several different tangents.
we do.
But I want to go take it back to industry.
Hmm.
When like I said, we're the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like literally industry holds up a mirror to us. If that were not to be the case, right? And industry is literally telling us what to believe, then we literally have to. It's bad for us to believe, and I think at its core, I believe in God, and I honestly feel like I think God thinks we dumb, or at least we're not supposed to have the agency of our brains enough on this on this planet because it's weird. Like I think because
The full faculty of your brain
people.
is priority probably number top three. It ain't number three. Okay, the
Right,
priority
but
number
here's the thing: if
one.
everybody had agency and we believed in their agency, a lot of people will send us to think. That's why I feel like at the end of the day, I thank God for certain things because it's like I think most people have compassion for other people. Most people
Mhm, mhm,
understand empathy. Most people are able to communicate and do all these great things, right? And have a heart to do those great things. But as people, there's something about us as human beings, as a human species, that is
mhm,
always going to be the higher we get to, the more we're able to give up. and,
mhm.
and and that's what I think society has put that type of mirror to let us to see is that because we pick and choose every day, we make spaces for this and then say no to that, but then it's part of us and we can never understand the complexity and the nuance of us as individuals because it's not in us to comprehend it. It's like it's so broad, and that's why I feel like it's certain customs and certain religions because I feel like people be needing to latch onto something that makes them have a glimpse of security in their mind when they really don't have it. They don't know how to be a proper person, so they need religion. They don't know how to be to walk in their truth, so they need to see other people doing what they will really want to do. It's a lot of people who now I'm about to go into the political situation. It wasn't
Mhm.
until Trump got into office that people were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because for a long time, and that was naive of me. For a long time, I was like, America ain't racist. America isn't this. And I'm just like, for the longest of time. And then I would see certain things and I'm like, I mean, that's anecdotal. And then I would see certain things. I'm like, okay, this is bad. And I would see certain things. And then Trump came along. I'm like, okay, now this is and then it's because it almost just seems like it's been something that pushing the thing and they were dormant for so long. And then when you put someone who is speaking the language, you would rather say, but because he's in his space, now he can say what you're thinking, he can say what you're truly feeling. And so now it's like, no, we were never in this Eurocopia of America and freedom and all this type of stuff. No, we were in this racist nation, and this is the situation, and this is their customs, and this is what they want, and this is what's going on. And so it's like everything is turning a mirror to us as people. And I don't think that as human beings, I don't think the majority of us have the notion and the mindset to be like, you know what, I want to be different. And even if you are going to be immediately labeled as an outcast, and nobody gonna want to fuck with you. You're gonna be this, you're gonna be that, and in the industry, you're gonna be blackballed. Because like we said, you have to play ball. There's certain things you have to be. So yeah, you might have this great, you this heart, and you have this talent, and you want to really be authentic in who you are and hold to it, but you can't hold to it because the bigger the checks you make, the bigger experience you make, is something you're going to have to sacrifice. And eventually, will you? I think everybody would. I think when it's you by yourself and you got to pick and choose a thing, and it's about your elevation, how you gonna elevate, that's what you're gonna choose. That's what you're going to choose. And the thing about this, if we all understood that on a basic level, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, huh? If
No,
we all
more of
understood that on a basic level, then it can be, we don't have time to sit here and look at the people in the industry. We don't have time to look at those people because of the fact that we understand people. We understand the game. We understand the industry. If we understood that this is what people are going to do because it's in our nature to do it, now we can not necessarily have tolerance, but in a sense of having a bit of understanding to where we're focused on our inner and not what we see outside.
right.
So I don't want to monologue, but that's just how I see things. It's just
No, seriously.
it's
No, I
it's
mean,
never about the
that's exactly
industry.
it.
It's just it's never about the industry. It's always about what I see in people, and that's why I be to myself. Like, I don't understand why people don't was upset about not being able to be around people. I'm perfectly fine alone. Like, I don't be like, it's just, it be that way. It just, and I don't, I have faith because, like I said, I do be wanting to be optimistic because I still, I want to be able to give mercy while I can still, while I'm
Sure.
still maintaining it. I'm able to breathe. I'm able to live life. So I want to give as much mercy as because at any point in time, boom, you know what I'm saying? I
Well,
understand that,
first
so I
person
want to
you got
give
to
grace to other
give
people that
mercy
I know
to.
that can happen too.
The first person you got to give mercy to is yourself, and that's
Yeah,
not telling. Giving mercy to yourself is safeguarding yourself from things that you know don't mean you any good. Um,
yeah,
and you have
that's
to be
it.
aware of that because that could be exhausting. It could be detrimental. It
Yeah,
could be fatal, and you have to be aware of that. If you are aware of that, you know what I mean.
yeah,
If you have to be
yeah,
able to pay, like we've been saying, you have to be able to see the things. You have to know what you're looking for, and not even know what you're looking for, but be able to recognize when something is off, something's not right, something doesn't make sense. We are in
yeah.
a society now where we are social media and things like that. It's like
Hmm.
first of all, we're gonna push the things. We're gonna have a conversation. I could talk to you guys about fucking foster grants. We talked about, what was that, yesterday or whatever case. We talk foster grant classes. It's gonna be an ad that pops up. You're gonna see your favorite
Right.
people. You're gonna see, like you said, the what's the navigation? The navigators or expeditions or a Ferrari or whatever, Bugatti, whatever the case. You get in the car, and because you like that person so much, you be like, oh, good for them, my friend, my friend. But that's essentially your car because you don't put this money
Yeah,
towards your friend. You know what I'm saying? And things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But that is the world that has been created with everything, with the powers that be that have orchestrated these things in Silicon Valley where they do the codes and everything like that, in China where they create the equipment and things like that, all come together for into America because everybody else does everything differently over to America to infiltrate our minds and things like that. And we begin the psychological warfare that we're in with
Yeah,
ourselves, with our loved ones, and with the entertainment, with the industry. If
yeah,
if you're paying attention like that, like I said, my conflict is okay. Let me try to calibrate it so that I can have a better understanding of it as a, oh Lord, this is crazy, and this did you get your catch? It's like, okay, no, hold on, I need to. My thing is more like, hold on, let me be able to put this somewhere. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because
yeah,
this will then be able to lead to something. Like I said, Rihanna had the baby on Friday the 13th. I knew then, okay. But Rihanna having that baby on Friday the 13th, now putting it together, it's 9 months after that she did the thing. You know what I'm saying? That might be insignificant. I feel like that it might come across to some people as like, what are these just days and what are these just numbers? Because that's how people think. These are just days, these are just numbers. At the same time, those are the same people like, oh my God, Rihanna, not Rihanna, Nicki Minaj got that new orange, was it red? That red wig, which I love with the blonde ombre.
right.
She did,
Yeah,
but those are the same people like, oh my God, Nicki got a new wig, barbs, and the things. You not latching on to the right thing. You're literally latching
yeah,
on wrong things. You're latching onto the very things that they want you to latch onto so that you can stay in this space and they can keep pushing it to you and you stay in this box. The simply is the thing too with social media, and it's all of because the access and information, the ability to gain access to the information is absolutely
Yeah.
everywhere. It is at our disposal. At the same time as it's just as detrimental, it can be absolutely beneficial to whatever you're looking for. The thing about it is, on my TikTok, the way I had my algorithm set up, the way I'm looking at things, I'm double tapping on. They talk about big business, or the fact that you not big business, but the fact that everyone is the business. We talk about social security
Yeah.
cards and things like that. Start your
We
LLCs,
are.
doing
Yeah.
now, that's not things they teach in school because that's not what they want people to be.
Yeah.
They want people to be able to follow the directions and follow the rules and follow the course of what the life is supposed to be in school and college and things like that, and put all these thousands of dollars out when you could be bringing thousands of fucking dollars in.
And yeah, yeah, we're missing so many opportunities to bring income to the Black community, and it's probably partially because of
Think about
greed
it.
and the fact that at the end of the
I'm
day,
not even talking specifically black people. Specifically,
well,
I'm
just
talking
people,
about
people, period.
as a whole. The fact that they don't teach
Yeah,
any, because one thing is, because we always, and that's race becomes the conversation because that has been the conversation or the defining factor, determining factor, and things like that.
well,
And
I'm talking about
conversations,
because I'm Black. So.
and but that's the thing, and especially when it comes to black people, it's like, well, now I'm black, I need to fight to be black. When honestly, we have a little bit more power, sharing our power with other
Yeah,
people, sharing our
yeah,
power with inviting other people into the conversation and things like that. Because as you know, as black people, we are capable. And that's the thing. They always want to build us up like we're not capable, but we are so fucking capable because everything that y'all do is from us, pushed out to people who are not us,